What's going on, guys? Suresh here, 221B Tactical. Today we are going over the Ford Raptor, 2020 Ford Raptor, taking a break from reviewing tactical gear and talking about the Raptor that so many people have questions about. Now, a lot of you are asking about what happened with the 2018 Raptor. Interesting story. I'm going to get into that for those of you who are in the market for a Raptor. Some of you had questions, what's the difference between the 2018 now that you're in the 2020? I'm gonna go over that as well. Now, the biggest question I get is, why didn't I go for the Ram TRX? I'm gonna answer that in this video, so stay tuned. And some people just said, well, why didn't you just hold out for the Gen 3 Raptor? Some even said, why didn't you just hold out for the Raptor R that's gonna be coming out in another couple of years? So I'm gonna go over all of that, how I got into this 2020 Raptor, the differences between the 2018 and this one, and why I didn't choose to hold out for those other vehicles. So let's get right into it. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna start with some of the differences between the 2020 and the 2018 Raptor. I got the same color, lead foot gray, and that's part of the reason why I had to wait to 2020 to get this Raptor. So let me just go over the issue that led me to the 2020 Raptor, and then I'll get into the differences. So the issue that occurred with this Raptor actually involved Ford buying the Raptor back. And it was a little bit of a nightmare situation. I'm not gonna show myself talking to you because I know you guys wanna see the truck. So I'm gonna go in and show you what happened. So on the 2018 Raptor, after almost a year of owning it, I noticed that I kept seeing water under this mat, and this area was wet here. So at first I thought maybe it was the guys at the car wash who were power washing the mats and things like that. And then I realized it was something more than that, because the water was actually getting wet over here and actually behind this seat. So I don't know if I'm going to go into the full overview of the vehicle, because I did the 2018 Raptor review, but for some of you who maybe want to see some of the things about this, I can go over that real quick. But so ended up realizing that there was somehow water coming in. I didn't know if it was rainwater or what. So what I did was I took it into Ford. They looked at it, dropped it off, called me back a couple days later, and they said they checked all the sunroof seals and everything, because there's like a drain or something that comes down, and everything looked clear. They blew everything out, and that was it. So I had it for a couple more weeks and brought it back because it was still wet. They took it back in to diagnose it, and they realized that down here behind the firewall, there is a drain tube for the AC that is supposed to drain out to the ground. At the factory, somehow that tube got filled with silicone and was clogged. So all the water was backing up and going underneath the carpet, beneath the entire inside of the car, so of the truck rather. So the I gotta say truck, because last time I said car a couple of times, and of course the YouTube police commenters were like, it's not a car, it's a truck. So inside of the truck, and there was black mold under all the carpet. So they had to go in, they ripped the entire interior of the car out. Seats, dashboard, entire center console, steering wheel, you name it. It was right down to the metal interior like you see on the assembly line in the commercials. It was kind of crazy. So they assured me that everything would go back in the same way and it would be fine. And I said, yeah, no. So Ford corporate got involved, and they were excellent, and they gave me all my money back, all my payments back, any of the customization I had done to the truck, they reimbursed me for, because I did the spray and bed liner, and I got the wheel wells sprayed, which I haven't done yet on this one, and they were awesome. So my hat's off to them. They took care of it. They did right by me, and they realized it was a major issue on their part from the factory, and I wasn't taking a car back that they essentially completely gutted down to the metal. So then I had to wait. They said they were going to give me a credit on another Raptor. However, by then the 2018s were done, and it was the 2019s were out. And in 2019, I don't know if you guys know this, but they did not have this color, Leadfoot Gray. So I had to wait. I had to wait till 2020 to get this color, and then I had to wait for them to locate one. So it took a while. Wasn't until just a few months ago that I was able to get this vehicle located, and they were able to get me in it. So this is a 2020, although we're now in 2021, a couple of months in, and obviously this was acquired during the craziness of the pandemic, a little bit prior. 2020 Leadfoot Gray Raptor. So that's how I ended up in this one. Ford took care of me on getting me into this one, so my hat's off to them. They were excellent from everyone I talked to at Ford corporate. Obviously it was a kind of a crappy situation to go through, but they took care of me. For those people who I know were asking a little bit about it, that's what I can say about Ford there. So now everyone wants to know, what are the differences between the 2018 and the 2020? The main difference that most people know about is the suspension. They switched the suspension, I believe, in 2019 to that right there, the Fox live valve shocks. And on the 2018, they were like a teal blue. 2019, they're this nice burnt orange. And for the most part, people say, well, that was the only change. Of course, they came out with a new wheel style here. This, what I believe is a faux beadlock looking. I don't believe these are actual bead locks. They just look like it, but they're a great looking kind of gunmetal color. So I can tell you this right now. Although it looks very similar to my 2018, obviously same exact color, this 2020 Raptor drives completely different than the 2018 Raptor. I can't even say they kind of drive similar. It is a complete night and day difference between these two trucks. So one of the things that you see in the forums, a lot of people talking about, is the back end of the truck jumping out over certain bumps. Those little expansion joints in the highway, and certain roads that have, if you're off-road, bumpy, this back end would jump out sometimes so far on the highway that you thought you were going to lose it. It was actually scary. So I went to the forums, I talked to a few other Raptor owners, and a handful of them had told me that they experienced the same exact thing. So on the forums, some people said, let some air out of the tires. Other people said, put some weight in the bed. Everyone had their own theory about what to do. None of it worked. So I just got to the point where I was approaching certain, those expansion joints on the highway and things like that, or certain roads I traveled on that I knew had really bad bumpy sections with potholes, and hitting those potholes would send the back end of the truck out a lot, like scary a lot. Now, I, in my previous life, did EVOC training, so I know how to handle a vehicle at higher speeds, handling a vehicle, doing, evasive maneuvering, all that. Been through the training for over a decade. So let me put that out there. I'm not a novice driver when it comes to driving cars or trucks. So this was something that was scary, that I can't even imagine it happening to a normal person with no driver training on handling a vehicle at high speeds and driving in reverse at high speeds and trying to overcorrect and things like that. So that was a major issue, and I just kind of had to just change my driving style. It was really scary for a while driving that. So that's one thing I don't miss. The one thing I'll tell you with this 2020 is that there is absolutely no back end hop on this car whatsoever. This Fox live valve technology completely got rid of that. Now, not only that, a lot of people talked about how in the 2018, when you would hit bumps on a road, you kind of would kind of float a little bit, where you'd hit a bump, and after the bump, the car kind of floated a little bit and bounced before it kind of leveled out and you started going again. With this truck, once again, that has been completely eliminated. You hit a bump in this truck now, and it hits the bump and it's back level like a second later. There is no floating down the road for another 5-10 seconds. So the suspension and the ride on this truck is 1,000% better than the 2018. So if you're in the market for a truck and you're thinking about waiting and trying to save up your money or whatever, I would tell people look for the 2019 or later with that Fox live valve, because it is completely different, night and day, between how the trucks drive. Handling around turns, going into off ramps, coming out of off ramps onto the highway, you name it. Every aspect of how this vehicle handles is completely different from the 2018. If you go on some of the forums, there's some guys talking about that. But I'm going to tell you from my direct experience, having quite a bit of time, nearly a year in the 2018, and now driving this, I could tell you 1,000% night and day. So that's my suggestion to anyone who is looking to get into one of these. What else is different about this truck? One of the interior issues that the interior is pretty much the same. You guys notice I got the Ronin factory antenna here, bullet antenna, 50 cal. Hopefully YouTube doesn't ban my video for showing that bullet. Got the keypad here on the outside, which is also cool. Okay, so here's another difference. This decal here is a much better decal. The other one was kind of like a sticker. This one actually is like a thick, like hard graphic. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit and show you that it actually has like a little bit of, I'm going to try to get this zoomed in without making this. Let's see if I can figure this out. But I don't know if you guys can tell, this has like a texture on it, which is actually kind of cool. It's almost like a sandpaper texture here. And if you guys can see that, probably. So it's a real decal. It's heavy. So I think they stepped that up. And of course you have the racing stripe decals on the hood as well. So they did a nice job with the decals on the 2020 over the 2018. I'll give you that. And of course they upgraded these wheels. The 2018 I had the brushed aluminum wheels, and these wheels are a lot nicer. Same tires, BF Goodrich KO2s, I believe. Beautiful tire, almost no road noise on the highway, so it's a really nice tire. Lights and everything are the same, and headlights, everything like that. So I'm gonna go into I'm going to the back seat, and for those of you who don't know, back seat, of course, a dog bone, you know, the Belgian Malinois, you always gotta have some bones around. This is huge back here. This is like cavernous. You could literally sleep back here. It's enormous. Seats fold up nicely. This panoramic sunroof, where that front glass panel slides back here, it's beautiful because it brings in full daylight. It's almost like there's no roof on the car, which is actually pretty awesome. It's not very tinted, so on hot days it does get hot. In the 2018, this panoramic sunroof rattled tremendously. You would drive down the road and you'd hit bumps and you would hear this thing rattling quite a bit. On this 2020, it doesn't rattle at all. Doesn't make a sound, doesn't make a creak, a peep, anything. So a lot of complaints out there. on the 2018s and I believe the 2017s about these panoramic roofs making a lot of noise and being a lot of giving a lot of people problems. So a lot of people, when they were getting the later model Raptors, were ordering their Raptors without the panoramic sunroof. But I wanted the sunroof because I think it's one of the best features of the car, and I'm really glad that they fixed whatever issues were going on with that. Other than that, there's some differences in the seats, which I'll show you a little bit, but I'm gonna go around to the other side. I got the glare and try to get out of this glare for you guys. You can see that logo a little bit. This thing was washed, by the way, but it's a Raptor. It can be dirty. Okay, so one of the things that the 2018 didn't have was this carbon fiber package. These panels here on the door. In my 2018 video, they were carbon fiber looking panels. I'll zoom in on that one over there. You see that panel on the door right there. Right there. On the 2018, they looked like this, but they were like faux carbon fiber. It was like carbon fiber. In this 2020, I got the full carbon fiber package, so it's actual allegedly actual carbon fiber. Not that I took it off and tested it, but this is the carbon fiber package. In the other video, I said carbon fiber looking panels. I said that about 3 times, yet people chimed in and said, it's not carbon fiber. That's not the carbon fiber package. And I was like, go back to the video. I said carbon fiber looking panels. I'm going to pull the seat down here just so you guys can see one of the things I'm talking about here. This 2020, in 2018, this was all leather. In 2020, they put fabric here. And if you see, if I zoom in, it's almost like a honeycomb material pattern. It's nice looking, but they removed the leather that was here and they put this fabric here. All this perforated leather is very nice though, and the seats fold up and down very easily, vents in the back, and all that jazz. Let's go to the front. Keyless entry, which is nice. A lot of people were complaining about this. It's just a little finicky because a lot of people, when they go to unlock it, put their hand in and press this. So a lot of people would say it didn't really work. The reality is it does work. You just got to be really careful. When you want to lock the car, you can't reach in and put your hand in. You just got to hit this. And there you go. It locks. And then when you want to unlock it, you can't hit this at all. So you kind of got to go in 4-finger. And that's it. So I'll let you hear it. If you try to go like this and it kind of hits both sensors at the same time, and I think it confuses it. So there you go. Okay, so front seats, here we go again, with the fabric here, perforated. These are cooled seats, not just ventilated. Actual cold air comes out of them, which is nice. You have the Raptor logo here. Bolstering is the same. I don't know if you can get the orange leather anymore in 2020. That was a thing when they first came out. Not sure. Heavy duty floor mats front and rear. And of course you have the carbon fiber. I know that glare is annoying. Carbon fiber here, carbon fiber on the door panel. I apologize about that glare, guys. And then of course you have the carbon fiber shifter, which is cool, in that little panel right there that slides back and forth, as well as carbon fiber. And I think that's it for the carbon fiber, but they did a really nice job. I see the huge magnesium paddle shifters right there. So I'm gonna go around to the other side and see if we could talk about some of the other things on this 2020. Okay, one of the things that the 2018 didn't have was the spray and bed liner. I had to get Line-X done inside the liner, and it was aftermarket. It was done really well, but this one I got with the bed liner already sprayed in, and the Ford from the factory bed liner is phenomenal. Got the extra fastener points there on each side. There's one here and here, and there, and of course you have the LED lights in the bed right there, which are really awesome. And even the tailgate is coated as well, so really nice. Sliding black back glass there, really nice too. They did a nice job. Slow close tailgate. The remote has a button on it that releases the tailgate, so you unlock and you hit this button here, nice and slow. So it's pretty nice, and it's super light to, you can literally one finger close it. And there's a little light here at night, the LED light comes down, so it's actually pretty good, pretty cool. All right, let's get inside. Once again, carbon fiber shifter, heated seats and all that jazz. This sun glare is killing us. Once again, you have that cloth integrated into the seats again. Lots of storage, lots of pockets in all the doors, pockets over there too. So lots of storage and things like that. And the interior, even on the 2018, was holding up beautifully. Ford does a great job. And here's a shot of that panoramic sunroof, phenomenal. As you guys know, the auxiliary switches are up here now, which is kind of cool. It's more like feels like more of a cockpit having them up there than they were down there. And of course that red racing stripe on the center of the wheel, let you know when you're centered, and things like that. I think that's pretty much it as far as the differences between the 2018 and 2020, but the biggest one clearly being the handling. Handles like a totally different vehicle. The seats, I don't mind the fabric inlay, that's fine. And of course the carbon fiber is just a nice touch as well. Okay, so the question that so many people have asked about why I chose not to go with the Ram TRX. I know a couple of guys with the TRX, and I have spoken to them. I've been in the TRX. It is an incredible truck. It's crazy that when this Raptor is parked next to my buddy's TRX, the Raptor looks small. And the Raptor, as you guys know, is like 6 or 8 inches wider than the regular F-150 and taller. The other thing I want to let you know, for the people asking about the different, I love this panoramic moonroof, by the way. I don't have it fully open, but when it's fully open, it's unbelievable. Actually, I'll open it up right now. I'll let you guys hear the startup, because the startup is actually pretty cool. It sounds great. And by the way, when you're in sport mode, the exhaust sound changes. So it definitely is throatier when you put the truck into sport mode. I believe that sound is augmented and pumped in through the speakers. So it's partially real, but then it's partially fake. So just so you guys know, this, I think that was the same thing in the 2018, but the 2020, when you put it in sport mode, the depth of the growl definitely seems deeper. So if you guys like that, throatier growl from your exhaust, you'll like the 2020 better than 2018. So I'm gonna open this up so you guys can see just how incredible this, if I can figure out how to do it. There we go. Okay, so you guys see how much light that brings in. I'm gonna actually tilt the camera here. You guys see how huge that that sunroof is. Okay, just so you guys know, people asked, does the whole thing open? No, the front part over here is what opens, but the back part, that back glass, does not slide back, of course, so the front panel goes over that, but it's beautiful. It makes it feel like you're like essentially outside. Okay, so why didn't I get the TRX? The TRX, the main reason I didn't get the TRX, one, it was a year one car, and I'm not a fan of getting year one vehicles. I feel like in the first year, they got to work out the kinks of those vehicles. So I'm not a fan of, you know, being the person that has to deal with those kinks. So I always like to wait a year before I go with a new vehicle, a new design vehicle. So that was one of the main reasons. The other reason, of course, is, you know, Dodge, Ram, whatever you want to call it, definitely has a little bit of a spotted history about their reliability. So for the long term, how reliable is that Ram going to be? We don't know. I don't know. But I know a lot of guys with some older Rams that have some serious issues with them, and no one wants to have issues, especially with a truck that is at that price range. The difference between the Ram the TRX I was looking at and the price of this Raptor new wasn't all that different. And for those people who on the previous video, and you might ask on this video, people ask how much is a payment. I don't have a payment. How much is the truck? It all depends on how it's spec'd out. The TRX was a little bit higher the way I want it spec'd out, but it wasn't that much higher than the Raptor. That being said, to pay that level of money, right? You're talking upwards of $80,000 for a Ram, I was a little skeptical about, and also it being a first-year vehicle, okay? So that was the second thing. The third thing was the fuel economy. I had talked to a couple of guys that had them early on, and I'm glad that when you're looking at, you know, I talked to some of them now. Well, my one buddy has it all tuned up, but my other buddy, his is just stock, and he's getting like 12 miles a gallon or like 11 miles a gallon. This Raptor gets about average 16 to 17 combined, which isn't terrible. It's not great, but for the truck that you have, which is with as fast as it goes and what it can do, I mean, I'll take 16, 17. If you really get on it and you're really ripping around a lot, heavy accelerations from, stoplights and things like that, well, you're probably going to get more in the line of like 14, 15. But, try to take it easy. I have it in sport mode most of the time, but, I also try to, be reasonable with it. I'm not flooring it everywhere. And so you can hover around that 16 miles per gallon, which for a truck like this isn't terrible. Now, some people will say, well, if you're worried about gas mileage, you shouldn't be in a truck like this. I'm not talking about me per se. I'm talking about in general for the people who are asking, and there are some people who worry about fuel economy. Do I worry about fuel economy so much every day? Luckily, my company handles the fuel for this vehicle, so I don't really care. So for the people who are like, oh, if you're worried about gas, you shouldn't really well, no, I don't worry about gas. I don't even pay for the gas, but I think for the general population, they definitely are worried about gas. And yeah, you're buying a truck for $80,000 or whatever you may be, but I don't care who you are. I mean, you still want to get decent gas mileage, just from the standpoint of not having to sit there and, live at the gas station and be at the pump every other day. I like that this truck, when I fill it up, I can go about when you fill it up, it tells you got about 500 something miles for the tank, but that's if you're probably doing 65 on the highway, the whole tank. I usually get about, I think, like just under 400 to a tank. I do quite a bit of highway driving, but I'm always in like that 380-ish mark, 400 mark. I never get, unless you take a straight highway road trip, you're never going to see 500 miles to a tank in this truck, although it will tell you that when you fill up at the pump. Yeah, I mean, it's important, it's just something that some people want to know. So, hey, those are the facts. Getting like 9-10 miles a gallon in a truck I own, I don't care how much money you have. Like, you got to be smart. You don't want to be stupid. Being nine, my one buddy's truck, he got it tuned. I think he's at like 6 miles a gallon. I mean, it's like the truck's at like 1,000 horsepower, but like 6 miles a gallon is just stupid. It's like stupid. Like he's spending like 2 gallons of gas just to go back and forth to like the gym. So I just not my thing. But the truck is beautiful. The inside of the TRX is absolutely beautiful. The seats are amazing. And of course, the big thing about, it has a ton of technology in it. I mean, the technology in the Ram blows the technology in this Raptor away for the most part, because it has all like the Ram pages and all that stuff, all these diagnostic and graphs of the truck flipping around and doing spins and all that stuff. And it has that huge screen. The screen is like about, like, I don't know, this big. And you look at the screen on this and it's, you know, it's a regular, I don't know, screen. I don't know what it is across, like 7 inches. But I gotta tell you, that screen on all my friends that have that in their truck, the novelty wore off with that big screen within like a few weeks. And then it was just like, whatever. Because when I am in the vehicle and I'm driving the vehicle to drive the vehicle and enjoy driving the vehicle. I'm not driving the vehicle playing on the screen. I don't care if it's 20 inches. You're driving. You know, I'm never hanging out in my truck playing on the screen, like just hanging out doing nothing. So I'm the kind of person that I could care less how big the screen is, or, you know, whatever, like, you know, the resolution. I mean, I don't care. I get in the car. I almost never, if I listen to the radio station I listen to is already set. If not, then I don't even have the radio on. As long as the Bluetooth works in the car, that's all I really care about. Navigation is navigation. 9 out of 10 times I'm using the navigation on my phone. I'm not even using the navigation in the dash, just because, you know, I'm looking the place up and then I just hit directions on my phone and then that's it. So the navigation voice goes through the Bluetooth. So I am not a big screen guy. I know some people love that screen in that Ram. I know a couple of people who've had something go wrong with that screen, and it is a major, major pain. You talk to some of the mechanics that work for Ram, and they'll tell you those screens are a major pain for them, some of the techs that work for Ram. So if you like the big screen, you want that Tesla type screen and huge and all that stuff, it comes with some problems too. Hopefully you don't have problems with it, but like I said, I really could care less about how big that is. I'm not looking at the damn thing while I'm driving. I'm not sitting in the car, parked, playing with the screen, so it really doesn't matter to me. So a lot of people who like the Ram like it for that. I'm gonna go really quick into why I didn't go with why I didn't wait and why I didn't hold out for the Gen 3 Raptor. As stated, I don't like to get the first year of a car. So there was no way I was going to go for the first year of the Gen 3 Raptor. They always work out the kinks. There's always some issue. There's always some recall. There's always something. Although they spend millions and millions of dollars in R&D, once they push the cars out into full mass production, of course, it's always an issue. So, and of course, when the car first comes out, the prices are through the roof, like with the TRX. You have dealers charging X $1,000 over sticker and stuff like that. It's crazy, and it's stupidity. Wasn't going to wait for the first year of Gen 3. If anything, I'd wait for the second year. Now, in the second year is when the Raptor R. So, Ford Gen 3 Raptor, I believe, is coming out in 2022. I believe, or maybe actually end of 2021, and it'll be the 2022 model year. I believe that's what the rumors are. And then end of 2022 for the 2023 model year is when the Ford Raptor Gen 3 R is slated to come out. Once again, that will be a first year vehicle for the R, something I always steer clear of. So for those of you who are asking, why didn't I just wait for the Gen 3 Raptor? That's my answer. And why didn't I just hold out for the Raptor R? That's my answer. So will I end up in a Gen 3 Raptor or Raptor R after they come out? I might. I definitely might. But I got to tell you, by that time, I think we're going to see a lot more in the realm of electric vehicles. And I'm probably going to end up going into something electric. Cybertruck, I don't know, the Hummer EV, that's a possibility, but I don't really foresee the survival of the gas guzzling trucks going too much longer. I think these electric trucks with their like incredible torque and, you know, instant torque, if you've ever driven in a Tesla and you hit the gas pedal in a Tesla, you're pinned back to the seat. It's incredible. So to have that in a truck, the new Ford F-150 Lightning coming out, the reports of that vehicle and the torque in that vehicle, of course, are incredible. So I think that I'll probably end up in some version. If I would not be surprised if they come out with some sort of electric version of the Raptor either. So of course, gonna wait it out, wait a model year, and then maybe jump into that. But I'll have this Raptor for a while until maybe something electric in the Ford Performance series comes out. I'm sure, you know, they did the Mach-E. I'm sure they're going to come out with something. So that's why I am not waiting, and that's why I did not wait to get either of those vehicles, because not getting those first year models. So that's my stance on that. But I love this. I don't see a huge difference right now from what I've seen with the Gen 3 Raptor. I've seen the interior. I've seen, of course, the exterior. The photos are out there. When the Gen 2 Raptor came out, when you put it next to the Gen 1 Raptor, on the exterior and the interior, it was night and day. I mean, the Gen 2 Raptor blew the Gen 1 Raptor away from exterior appearance and what they did on the interior. When you look at the Gen 2 to the Gen 3, I don't see those drastic differences. I personally, and a lot of people on the forums agree, the Gen 2 Raptor looks better on the outside. And on the inside, they gave you a bigger screen in the Gen 3 Raptor, but everything else nothing is so drastically better in the interior of the Gen 3 Raptor, like it was from the Gen 1 to the Gen 2. So another reason why I think they're gonna have some issues with the Gen 3 Raptor sales, because the Gen 2 Raptor owners are looking at the Gen 3 and they're like, it's not that. In fact, my truck looks a little nicer and it's not that different on the inside. So, you know, why would I go ahead and jump to that? And I agree with all those people who say that. I think that they needed to do something more drastic on the interior to get people to jump ship and, you know, get out of their Gen 2 Raptors and go to the Gen 3. That's just my opinion. I love the interior on this vehicle. It is beautiful. It's modern. It is so slick. And I don't see the Gen 3 Raptor interior being all that much better than this. And if you're a screen guy, great. But I don't know. I think the screen on this is great as well. So that's that. I know you're going to get more horsepower, of course. But when you put this truck in sport mode and you step on the gas, you got plenty of horsepower. I mean, how fast are we going to go in a pickup truck at some point? Like, it gets crazy. 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 1 second. I mean, like, what are we doing here? So we're in a truck. That's my stance on that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys got the answers that you were looking for. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Gotta hit that subscribe button. If you like cool tactical gear and you like all that stuff, and if you want to hear more about the vehicles, hit that like button, thumbs up icon. I think it looks like this, or it may look like this. I'm not sure how the perspective is. And hit that subscribe button, and let me know what else you want to see in the future. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.